everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coach's Couch. Whatever you fear most has no power. It is your fear that has the power. By Oprah. I would like to start today's conversation that we will be speaking about a woman empowerment. And I have three amazing ladies from different regions of this world who will be discussing about their views and how exactly they are helping others who are facing the challenges in their life and how they support them and nurture their lives. So let's start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Coach's Couch. I'm your host, Nigat Harun, and today we have a panel discussion. And in this panel discussion, we will be discussing about women empowerment. We have Ojasvita, Roshni, Amy. So let's start with the introduction. Yes, Ojasvita, can you introduce about yourself, from where you are, and who are you?
Thank you so much for giving me this invite, Nigat. I'm Ojasvita, and I am from India. I'm a transformational coach, and I work with women. I also work with other genders as well, but mainly focus on women. And that's why this topic is really, really close to my heart. I help women understand and value their self-worth and craft a healthier and a happier version of themselves.
Amazing. Let's take it to Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi, good morning. Good to see you. I'm Amy Sinton. I'm a personal life and a business coach. I live in Warsaw. I do coaching worldwide. The topic of women's empowerment and for all genders is super important to me. I think that when people are empowered, when they're their best selves, they're the most effective, they reach all the best opportunities that they can. So I think this is a great topic. Thank you for having me here today.
You're welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Yes, Roshni.
Hi, I'm Roshni Radhakrishnan. I am living in Mauritius, originally from India, and I'm a life coach working especially in emotional well-being. And this topic is important to all of us, I think, despite the gender, because women empowerment is something that affects everybody positively and negatively in a lot of ways. So it's a very important topic for me. And here we are to discuss it today.
Amazing. Okay, so let's talk about what is women empowerment. So let's take a views of Ojasvita. Yes, Ojasvita. What is women empowerment to you?
So for me, women empowerment primarily means promoting women's self-worth. Their ability to determine their own choices and their right to influence the social change for themselves and others.
What a
Holistically, that's what I believe women empowerment is.
That's amazing, and thank you for making us a really empowered ladies. And I feel like women empowerment is something like when I see a woman is supporting another woman. Because there are a lot of time when I just face where the woman is having a problem with another woman, but when it's totally another side where we start supporting each other, we do magics, we do a lot of amazing things together. So yeah, that's really true. Yes, Roshni. So what do you like to add here?
So I totally agree with Ojasvita here. So this feeling of self-worth is something that is to be promoted when we talk about women empowerment. Most of the times we see that women do need somebody else to push themselves ahead, or they don't believe in themselves enough to, get to all the things that they deserve actually. So when we increase that self-worth, the empowerment automatically starts happening. It's the first step for sure.
That's incredible as well. And I really agree with this point that we need to believe us first, then the world will start believing us. Because some of the time we just see like, I'm less than him or I'm less than her. So this is the way we just keep our side back foot, and that's why we don't shine bright. Okay, let's take Amy.
So to me, women's empowerment is allowing and giving women the power to have different tools, confidence, kind of skill sets, education, and rights with different types of opportunities. And it's just solely about the possibility to make their own choices, to, if they wish to pursue their career, if they wish to, have kids, be a homemaker, do a career, do a few of these things or all of the above, or even a completely different, life path than they can. And to me, it's them being, not just in a situation where their options are all predetermined. It's where they can make their own choices, and for them to have the confidence to do this also.
That's true. I guess we all are just like giving a kind of a definition which is connected to each other. And the same way, it's all about how the woman is facing the challenges in this world. So let's talk about why women empowerment is important in today's world.
So I think it's we talk of women empowerment a lot in terms of equality, which I feel is somewhere the end to what we are trying to achieve. The actual way towards it is bringing in equity into the equation, where women are actually in the first place given opportunities or made resources are made available to them so that they can reach that same position that today men are, and then having those equal opportunity, that's when the equality starts coming in. But first, with basic education or basic rights to live in the society, these are very important to bring about that place where we can say, okay, now we need to treat them both equally. And when this happens, I think a lot of positive changes can come to all the genders, because there are new perspectives that are coming in, and there is a possibility that there can be more ideas towards structuring or cultural opinions that come in more easily when women are involved, on an equal level at places. So definitely the world would see a change when that happens.
So do you mean that women empowerment comes with the gender equality?
Yes, I mean that gender equality and the equity, gender equity is equally important, to have the opportunities in the first place to become equal. This is very important to talk about, not just being treated equally, but in the first place to be given those opportunities, to reach the same place.
Nice. What is your views, Ojasvita?
Niket, so while Roshni was speaking about this, the first thing that hit me was the example of Malala Yousafzai. So for me, like adding on to that note, women empowerment is basically the tool for social transformation. With what Malala did, it is something which also leads to political stability of a nation. It results to economic growth of a country. So empowering women has all in all the all benefits that a country needs to progress, be it economically, be it politically, be it socially. So all of those aspects are covered when a woman is in that position to live a happier, healthier life where she is economically also supporting her own family. She can raise happier future generations.
But don't you feel like women is too much overloaded, like taking care of a home, then taking care of herself, then kids, family, and now the business world as well? It's too much. Don't you feel like that?
But we are multitaskers. I don't think too much is ever too much for us, because taking care is an intrinsic part of our nature. I hope everybody here agrees on the same note. Like emotions can't be taken away from us no matter what position we reach. We will always be there to take care of our family, our children, and then later on ripple that down to our businesses, our employees, and so on, colleagues, etc., etc. So again, that is one role which is like, even if we want to take it out, we will never be able to do it because it's so much natural to us.
Amazing. So it's like if you want to have a sustainable world, woman empowerment is important. What are your views, Amy?
So to me, when women are given the flexibility and the opportunity to be their own best selves, when they can make their own choices and they have the freedom to exercise that choice, it's amazing for everybody, for all the genders. And when we have the opportunity to diversify the work environment by adding our own incredible skill set, knowledge, creativity, etc., it really ups the level for everybody, I think.
Okay, so from this point of view, where we start with the Roshni, with the gender equality and equity. So let's talk about, are women in today's world getting gender equality on high level in corporate leadership roles? How
I
many
would
of you
say that
agree?
not everywhere. Although the process has been made in terms of some rights and some laws in many places, there's still a great gender inequality in many places in the world, and there is unequal pay in certain areas, but it is a progress happening.
What about you, Roshni? You are from Mauritius at the moment. Let's support Mauritius side.
Here, definitely, it's a smaller country, and you do see the difference here. There are very few women who are at a high level management role. But in multinational companies, when multinational companies come into the country, you do see, that culture kind of seeping into a smaller country also. And then they set certain standards to which the local companies try to catch up and be at par. So it is changing. There is progress, but I recently read about a study which said that in 2021, around 33% increase has happened in worldwide, global leadership. But then it is progress, but it's a very small number compared to where we have to reach. So it's a long way, but there is definitely progress in the area, I would say.
And I will add one more thing. IC have just given a report and published a report recently where they have mentioned that they have a higher number of women coaches than the men. This year especially, it's getting higher and higher. So I guess we are ready to teach the people or coach the people what they need to do now. So yes, let's take Ojasvita views as well. So you are from India. Let's go India.
Definitely. So I am definitely in sync with what Amy and Roshni mentioned, like the global representation. Of course, the representation of women in leadership roles, especially in the corporates, is really very underrepresented even on date. And what I would like to throw some light on is on the fact that, there are still some outdated male models that shut women out, and some of them might be some old stereotypes which exist. That means since in the past, male have always been in the leadership roles, the traits associated with being a leader are very masculine, and they are not defined favorable when exhibited by a woman. That is one thing. Then when it comes to lack of flexibility, again, so balancing work and family life is seen by a lot of people as challenging, and they feel that the leadership roles are not designed for female because they won't be able to do justice to both their roles, outside the work and inside the work. And again, the last thing I would like to throw light on is it's seen as if women have fewer connections when it comes to building up networks to learn about opportunities and find mentors and sponsors. So these kind of old stereotypes still exist across the globe, which I feel do underestimate the leadership of women on top.
So we have just missed out Mr. Ibrahim. He needs to be here for the Arab. So I will just highlight a little bit information here. So I'm UE. So in United Arab Emirates, things are really changing. Like focusing on women empowerment is really changing. So business holds a significant here now untapped potential to contribute women's advancement and stand to benefit tremendously by ensuring women are empowered, whether it's like employment practices, whether it's sourcing, product and services development, even partnerships as well, even taking suppliers relationships. So you will feel the woman is everywhere. And even in a lot of campaigns, the women's are highlighted as a marketing campaigns as well. So in Arabs, I can see, especially in UAE part, the region is blooming and in women empowerment is hiking in such way. So this is something I can just say from this part of the region, we are changing the prospect. So I guess you guys can take the notes from them now. So let's talk about how can women empowerment promote economic stability. Let's talk about how we can bring something new or develop something amazingly when it comes to economic stability. Yes.
Well,
Roshni.
in my opinion,
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, in my opinion, all genders are super important. Every human being has something super important to offer. And when everybody is given the opportunity, then there are more people that can work. Both men, women, everybody has incredible skills, abilities, drive, and determination to offer. And then this all adds to increasing economic stability.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Roshni?
I think, there is at some sense, there is a difference between who a man and a woman are, so they do bring different perspectives to the same situation. So when a woman comes into a particular role, she brings in her insights, which she has gained from being a caretaker at home, or, just generally being the more emotional, like Ojasvita pointed out before, there is that it is social conditioning, I feel, the emotional part, but then of course that perspective gives fresh ideas and newer opportunities, into the economic strata, I feel. Mm-hmm. But I just want to add here one thing, that for that to happen, I think that gender roles do have to blur at some point, and women will come into these higher, stronger positions when at home too, those gender roles are blurred. It's not about just bringing women up empowered in corporate situations or political situations, but also empowering men to handle their own children and, or managing their homes, and creating that balance between both the genders, or, across genders.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about like thriving and enabling environment that business contribute and shape with the woman empowerment, like that includes formal and informal laws, regularity? Because I feel like we just discussed, I guess I don't remember who said this thing, the rules and regulation frameworks, that still they are not stronger frameworks for the woman, because I have seen a lot of women, especially after getting family and after getting married, they have babies and they struggle to balance that thing, like especially work and life together. So they are not companies who have that kind of a framework or rules where a woman, even having a baby, where she can have a space to feed her in the same time and do her responsibility. What do you guys say about that part?
Yeah, in my opinion, for historic reasons, because the roles used to be so different, women in most places in the world are in, catch-up positions, not everywhere. Fortunately, there are many places in the world now where women have equal rights. There are so many amazing women in the workspace. There are many leaders, and men also, and cross-gender, everybody. But the thing is, there still needs to be progress. There still needs to be more done. And women should, and men, everybody should, cross-gender, be able to have the possibility to be, able to have the home and the family life, and to be able to work. And I think that many, corporations, organizations should enable people to be able to do so, to give them the opportunities, as you said, to be able to give people the opportunity to have feedings or a little bit more flexibility. But there is still a big lack in many places in the world.
Yeah, because even I have just seen some companies are even offering you child support, where they give you a kind of a floor where the kids can come with you at the work, and those kids can stay in that area where they can have nannies, and they have play together, they do activities, there are people who are trained enough who are giving you the food, feeding and everything, and at the same time the woman can go and check their kids. So how you think about these things? Like, do you guys have that kind of environment or culture in your country?
Yeah, Nikhil. So I'll take that. So here in India, definitely with Prime Minister Modi, it's becoming more flexible for women to start working from home. This is one of his aims, that he wants more of the women workforce, contributing to the GDP. So although despite COVID, there was something which also was positive about it, and that was showing people and corporates how women, especially women across the gender, especially women, could also contribute towards the work while they are not physically present out there. So this adds to a lot of flexibility in the working styles, especially for parents who are in a position that they have to work, and they are not there to take care of their children or their families altogether. Having flexible work hours is a boon, and here we do have that. So yeah, I think that's one thing that's really helpful for us. And apart from that, in India we also have the pregnancy leave, so maternity care leave, as it is said. So when a woman is in that beautiful phase of her life, she does have the option of taking maternity leave, taking care of the baby, and once all of that is a little settled, they can always rejoin.
Let's talk about maternity leaves. What's rule in your country, Amy?
So here there is both a maternity leave and a paternity leave. And I think that many people are now also starting to work from home. Me also. I think it's great. It's a game changer when there's a possibility to, work online with people from all around the world. And I would say that in Poland, it is quite good, the situation in terms of women being able to work and have small children. And men
what
also.
about you, Roshni? How is it in Mauritius when it comes to maternity leaves and job security?
So I think there is a lot to be done here still. There are maternity leaves, of course, but I do feel the growth does get stagnant when women take that break and go away. There is much possibility for men to kind of take over those responsibilities at workplaces, and things like that come up very easily. These are things that are still not highlighted as much, I would say, but they do have a concept of paternity leave here. A week, I guess, but which I feel can be increased a lot more, because as parents, there is more support. This would actually help. I feel the concept of paternity leave is very important because in a sense, it does empower women to get back to their work lives more easily. And there is a balance.
Peacefully.
Again,
Peacefully. Yeah.
And men get a lot of men, actually, I find these days enjoy the responsibility as a parent, so they get an opportunity to bond with their child, and this is empowerment, I feel, for both the genders,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So let me surprise you guys. In Romania, there is 2 years maternity leave.
Oh, wow.
I had an interview with Adha Chandia, if you guys have seen that episode. So she told me that in Romania, we have 2 years. So I was like, wow, I need to have a baby there. So this is amazing. I guess we are changing, really changing, especially after the corona. People have started accepting the work from home kind of a thing as well, because still you are working somewhere, your responsibilities are fulfilled. So just getting people in the office is not needed anymore. So especially if you want a woman empowerment and economic stability with the woman, so this could be a kind of a tip to the people who are listening us today. So let's talk about how can women be empowered if it's not empowerment in your country, or if it's not empowered in your society. So how can women be empowered? Yes. Ojasvita, you want to start with?
Oh, I think Roshni wanted to.
Roshni? Okay.
Roshni, would you go ahead?
Okay, I can go first. So I feel there are a couple of things we need to consider when we talk about women empowerment. To make it happen, first of all, it cannot be like a global rule or law setup, because I think each country with regards to it is at a very different point, So it's important for governments and organizations working towards women empowerment to understand that difference and work from there, So the starting point is different for each culture and each society as such. If we take a country like India, where every state is so different, I think, there is such differences between where the women in a particular community are, that starting point has to be defined clearly. It's not just the end point that we need to define. That a beginning is very important to define.
First step. And where is the first step?
Yes, where is the first step? Because like we know that today, a lot of women are already at a CEO level. The companies are doing extremely well. We have reports on, how well women leadership takes businesses or countries too. There is success reports that we have, for example. But then what about those women who don't even have the basic needs fulfilled of going to school, or, even there are cultures and communities where food is prioritized on based of gender, So where does that starting point be determined is very important. And each government, I think, should work towards stabilizing that starting point first. And again, I would like to say the role of man is very important, in the women empowerment. Until we bring in progressive men into the equation, it's very difficult for just women to keep fighting for their own empowerment. I feel it has to be somewhere understood that women empowerment is going to affect every individual in some way,
So it will be like every empowered woman has a man behind her. It's something like this now.
Not behind her.
Yeah, because I feel it needs to be behind, like the way we used to say every successful man has a woman behind him. So I feel like it's the same way when it comes to empowered, because if my man or my father or my brother, my husband even, trust me and he is on the back and empowering me, go ahead, I'm here to support you. So that empowerment can be easy, because I've seen a lot of men really give tough time to the ladies when it comes to career and empowering a woman as well, that you have a family, why you need to earn? I'm bringing the money at home. You have seen a lot of cases are there. And even same time, there are a lot of women who feel that they have done amazing education, but never get chance to get in the corporate world, never get a chance to do something physically, to analyze and learn how to get the experience. So what do you say? An empowered woman has a man behind her.
I actually want to add something here, that, it's not about just going out there to work, but doing things, seeing the world, experiencing things. Everywhere we need this woman empowerment. I want to add in a very good example I had in my own life, that as women, we do feel very guilty very easily, especially when it comes to our kids. We it's somewhere we hold ourselves back when it comes to our kids. And my first child was around 3 years old when my husband came up with this idea of me traveling alone to some place, just going to see, because I really love photography. I write a lot. So he wanted me to go and explore that. I was getting stuck with the mom role and not going beyond that. And my first thing was, no, I cannot do it, what will he eat and how will he sleep? He doesn't sleep without me. So all these guilt was holding me back. And one statement he said changed that for me. He said, do you think your son will remember a mother, what she cooked for 10 days, how she put him to sleep for those 10 days, or would he remember the stories you would come back and tell him from this place you visited, and that changed everything, I think. And you need that kind of a place where your partner or your family understands you in that sense and pushes you to what you can achieve. You have it in you.
So in the end, a man is there empowering you. What do you say, Amy, on this part?
In my opinion, it's very important for men and women to both support and empower each other. Also, and all cross genders, everybody, for there to be, partnerships that are, both able to contribute and both able to support each other equally. And I would say that it is super important for the rights and for the education to be, possible for people everywhere in the world and for it to be better. Because everybody has something really valuable and important to offer. I would say that it is also important for people not only to be, the product of their circumstances. There's this quote by Stephen Covey: I'm not a product of my circumstances, I am a product of my decisions. And for everybody in the world to be able to, do that and to be able to go after that in their life without there being, constant obstacles in terms of like basic fundamental rights, I think that's super important.
What about you, Ojasvita? What is your views?
So yeah, so I feel like, invest in the woman be it in your home, be it in your community, be it in a school, anywhere. And that investment not necessarily be coming from the other gender. Like, I can also share one small story with me, and it was my mom, believing in my dreams and pushing me to achieve what I wanted to achieve. And that was something very basic as like just learning to drive. At that point, I was not really very old. I was just a teenager, I believe 16 or 17, 18. I think I was not at that age where I could get a driving license, but it was something that I wanted to learn. And she invested, she believed in my dream. And that is how, eventually I started driving. So I feel empowering women, it starts from a very, very basic thing, which is investing. Investing can be in the form of like believing in them. And then later on, it comes down to financially supporting them. On the level of like the government policies and all, I do genuinely believe that there is a whole amount of unpaid work that women do. So we don't necessarily need to be working as an employed. When we stay at home, the kind of things that we do, like the household chores, taking care of the family, is an unpaid work. So having that accountability of the unpaid work that women also contribute to, I think there should be a mark of that as well.
So do you feel if the men is offered to stay at home and do this chores at home, and you to say, okay,
Definitely.
no payment for you, they will do it?
I mean, we'll have to condition them, and it starts with you as a woman yourself. Like with me, I share responsibilities with my husband, and there is no, shying away from the fact that if he needs to, take up turn for cooking one day, or not one day, eventually, like, in cycles, if he is cooking or he's sitting at home and I'm going out when I have business meetings, he taking care of family and stuff like that. So it starts with us, because when we talk through with what are the things, what are the ground rules that we want to set up in a relationship. I think we have reached that time and we are in a generation where people understand.
Mhm. So as a coach, what are the things you have discovered while doing the coaching for a woman? Like they are lacking in these areas, or if I say the woman empowerment needs to be done. So as a coach, what you have faced, or what are the things your client have been challenged with, or limited belief with, that okay, this is not something a woman can do, or this is the place where the woman needs to be empowered. Like I will start with myself, because I'm in UAE, we have a diverse culture. So I have seen a lot of people, especially the women, having limited belief that this is not her job to do it. This kind of a job is only for the men. Sometimes I have heard that some women even saying these things like, I feel like my education is not enough. I feel like a lot of people lack and have a fear as well when they go and get their interviews done, or they want to apply for a specific job. They feel like they are not enough to do it. With the same, like the imposter syndromes are there as well, that feeling, having everything in a hands and still feel like they are not enough. What kind of a problems you have faced when it comes to women empowerment, and you have such clients who are coming to you?
So starting with that push that they need, okay, this is something that I always wanted to do, but I somehow couldn't do it ever. I did not get the permission. I'm at a stage at my life where, I have to start from the scratch, and I'm not really confident about doing it. I think that's the most common thing. They need that kind of, so investment of trust of somebody behind them, that no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter at what age you are, there's always the scope of growing. So just keep growing.
Yeah. Do you believe that if a woman take a career break while having a family, especially the kids, and they want to like invest their time in them, and once they are prepared that, okay, now kid is ready to go to school, I have my time and I want to go back to the jobs, they feel fear. They feel that their confidence is gone. They feel like they're not enough capable of doing those jobs which they were doing before. Do you feel that this kind of a thing happens in every region or around the world?
I think it
Yes,
does.
I think, yeah, it does. It does affect their confidence, because I have worked with, when you brought out this topic now, it came to my mind that the girls or women I have coached, so most of the women I personally coached, who were younger, in the younger age group, were usually about, making decisions or planning their growth and things like that. Whereas I have also worked with some of the stay-at-home moms who completely have lost confidence to even interact socially, and it does come from a culture of putting too much worth to your identity only when you earn money, so money defines your identity in some way. I've heard a lot of women come up with this thing of, my husband doesn't know how to introduce me anymore, so all I get introduced as somewhere is, oh, she's my wife, so and so, but there's nothing more to it, and they feel really bad about it, that they don't have an identity. And what I have felt is, that lack of having an identity when you're not a working person, because you are definitely so much more, each of those women who come are doing so much more. So it's not about just raising children. They must be involved in social activities, or they must be good at managing other things for their family, but those things are not valued in the society as much, and therefore what we spoke about in the beginning, the self-worth goes down very much, which which makes them feel
not worthy. That's what I
yeah,
heard. I'm not
yeah,
worthy
they don't
anymore. I'm like,
deserve it.
no, don't say like that. Yeah, so it's true. Like they are like 5 main components where the woman should be empowered. Is like socially first, we stop meeting the people we feel like we are not having that connection or affections anymore. Then educational, when you take a career break, you feel like, I don't know what the market trend is. I don't know how to get back in the job. I don't know how to even give the interviews that come economically. So a lot of women especially doesn't bargain for their jobs, doesn't bargain for their salaries. So that's the one thing. And politically as well, we feel like it's more men's side, but trends are changing. Then psychologically as well, there, yeah, that's true that psychology of women needs to be empowered in such way that you can do anything. When you can give birth to a child, you can do anything basically. Yeah, Amy, do you want to add something here?
Exactly, I totally agree. I think that to me, it hits on a personal and on a professional level because I've been a stay-at-home mom for many years, cooking, cleaning, you know, taking kids here and there to doctor's visits, to school, preschool, etc. And I think that's an amazing, beautiful role. And I think it's amazing for both mothers and fathers. And I would say that you know, if you're doing this, or if you are a person that has a career or doing both, it doesn't define you as a person. And that's the main thing that I think people should take away for themselves, is that having a career or not having a career, it doesn't define you're not a good or a bad person if you do this or if you do that. You should be able to do what you want, what you feel is, you know, your priority personally. But I do have a lot of people coming to me where they have issues with confidence. I would say that this is the #1 topic that people come to me with. Exactly. And many people, as you said, Nikat, they are struggling with imposter syndrome sometimes, you know, and people have, you know, the problem with dealing with the fact that, yes, they are somewhere because of their hard work. They are somewhere because of their knowledge, education, skills. And you know, many people don't have a supportive household. Many people don't have people that believe in them. And I think that a coach can come in then, you know, coaching is such a great tool that can empower people in such a situation. And there's so many amazing role models of fantastic men, women, you know, cross-gender people that are empowering others, even if they're not coaches, just leading with an excellent example. And so yeah, that's why I think that empowerment is very, very important. When people feel confident, then they will try to pursue different types of opportunities.
Amazingly. So we all have our own views and we have our own challenges basically. But in the end, I feel like a tribe of women supporting another woman is a beautiful example in every place or every country or every part of the world. So thanks a lot,
Yes.
Roshni, Ojasvita, and Amy for joining me today and discussing about women empowerment. Okay, so anyone who is watching us today and listening to this women empowerment, make sure to book your session with us. All of us are offering you 45 minutes free session to a woman who is facing challenge in their life. And if you're new to the Coach's Couch, make sure to subscribe us and like our video and comment below what you want to have in another session as well. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today and giving such an amazing insight of you, your work, and your society as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Nigat.
Thank you, Nikat.
Okay, you're welcome. So stay tuned for next week to have another show on the Coach's Couch with another coach. So thank you very much for watching.